So you have to ask yourself every day, what am I settling for? Don't get into a job that you hate. Dream big. There are 196,940,000 square miles to the planet Earth. Possibility and opportunity is everywhere, but you have to see it.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Black Excellence Daily. I am your host, Sean Croxton. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Dr. Farrah Gray on the show today. His story is remarkable, and I wish I knew more about it. I just kind of know the surface stuff. I bought his book last week, so I'm itching to dig into it and learn more. His book is called Reallionaire: 9 Steps to Becoming Rich from the Inside Out. And you know, what is so impressive to me about his story is that he became a millionaire at age 14. Born in 1984, grew up in the South Side of Chicago, started his first business at age 6. He was selling homemade lotions and, get this, hand-painted rocks that he can sell as bookends, right? 6 years old. And then later on, when he was 13, he started up a business that taught entrepreneurship to young people and did $1 million in revenue. This is how entrepreneurship works. You see a need, you fill it. People have ashy legs. Here's some homemade lotion. That'll make you less ashy and your skin softer. Oh, you got these books like laying around. Okay, here's some really cool bookends made out of rocks that I painted. Would you like to buy some? Oh, I've got other young people asking me how I build my businesses. Okay, I'm going to start a business venture teaching other young people how to build businesses. So you just look for a need and you fill it, right? And another thing that's so remarkable to me is that at 6 years old, he saw opportunity. And there are so many of us as full grown-ups who talk about how there's no opportunities out there. If a 6-year-old can see opportunities, there are opportunities everywhere. We're just not seeing them. There is a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And your RAS, reticular activating system, it filters your reality. And so, for example, you know, I have a high value on education and reading books. So when I go to a mall, what do you think I see first? I see the bookstore. I see Barnes & Noble. I'm going right there. And you can tell me like, oh, you know, is such and such store at that mall you go to? And I'll be like, I have no idea. But I've probably walked by it 100 times, but I just didn't see it because it wasn't important to me. And that's how the reticular activating system works. You will filter your reality based on your beliefs and the goals you have set and what you find to be important. It's things that you highly value. So if you don't believe that there are opportunities out there, your reticular activating system won't see them. If you don't have a goal for building wealth, then you won't see opportunities to build wealth. If wealth building is not important to you, if it's not high on your values in the top 5 or so, then you won't study it. Then you won't build it. And so we're going to talk another day about how to shift your values and how to, you know, bring wealth building up in your hierarchy of values so you can actually start to do the things that we need to do in order to create wealth. But I don't want to have a big, long intro again like I had on Monday. But there are opportunities out there. And if a 6-year-old can see them, then they must be out there. Then you can see them. It just really depends on what you believe, the goals you set for yourself, and also what's really important to you. And so always remember, my friends, that the outside is a reflection of what's going on inside. If you believe inside, there's no opportunities. Not going to see them on the outside. It's like they're not even there. Dr. Farrah Gray is coming up.
I made my first million, like I said, at 14 years old. Why? Because I did what came natural to me. When I was on the Monique show last night, she said, how do you make millions of dollars? How do you receive a doctorate at 21 years old? I said, it's rather simple. You have to find what God puts you here to do. The 2 most important times in anyone's life is when we were born and when we find out why we were born. What did God put you here to do? How many of you know what God put you here to do? We got some hands. Good. I had a guy, he was 75 years old. He called and he cussed me out. He said, Farrah Gray. I said, yes. He said, I've been working all my da-da-da life. That was the cuss words. President Harding cuss. I've been working all my da-da-da life. And why is it that you have money, Farrah, and I don't? I'm 75 years old. I said, because, sir, you have to find what God put you here to do. The richest place in the world is the cemetery. Why? Because many of us have so many gifts. We're trying to be the next this person or that person. Be the next you, because everybody else is taken. You have dreams. You have seeds of greatness within you. You have the power to do anything you want to do, but you got to put your mind in action. So as I went on to tell this guy, he said, I know what God put me here to do. So I said, okay, to the 75-year-old. I said, what did God put you here to do? He said, I'm a singer. I said, okay, well, sing. He started to sing. I listened. I listened some more. I listened to him sing some more. I said, sir, you're not a singer. As my mom would say, shut it down. Don't do that no more. Or as my grandma would say, she said, what that boy say years ago, lean back? Lean back. I said, yeah, grandma, lean back. So yeah, I told him, I said, you have to stop that. I said, because that's not what God put you here to do. So if you want to find what God put you here to do, ask yourself 3 questions. First question, what comes easy to me but harder to other people? These are the 3 questions you have to ask yourself. What comes easy to me but harder to other people? What do I mean by that? What is it that you're good at doing that can't nobody else do? What is it that you're good at doing that nobody else can do it just like you? That's the first question. He's already ready to tell me. Second question. What would I do and do it for free? What would I do and do it for free? I'll take the whole bag. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. What would I do and do it for free? That's a tricky question, because how many of you know at least one adult that hates their job? And if you work for the university, keep your hands down. Here's the problem. Many times we grow up and we hate our jobs. That's a decision we made. When I say what did God put you here to do, that's what's going to make you the smartest, the wealthiest, and the best in the world at what you do. What do I mean? Okay. How many of you have dogs? Okay. How many of you like dogs? Okay. Let me ask you all a question. Do dogs like bones? Dogs don't like bones. They like steak. They settle for bones. That's all they can get out of life. So you have to ask yourself every day, what am I settling for? Don't get into a job that you hate. Dream big. There are 196,940,000 square miles to the planet Earth. Possibility and opportunity is everywhere, but you have to see it. You have to step up and get ready for your success. Third question. This one's important. Giving back. How can I give back? No matter what you do, because we have a lot of black people in high places looking down on the black people in low places. My grandmother taught me you should never look down on anyone unless you're pulling them back up. And that's your responsibility as a brother, is to pull your brother with you. There's space and there's room for all of us to walk into the door. That's what President Barack Obama did. By him becoming president, he made sure to give back to us in such a way that our dreams no longer had any limits or a ceiling. Because honestly, our parents were kind of lying to us for a long time. They were telling us, you know, you can be successful, you can be anything you want to be, but in the back of their mind, they were saying, you can't be president. But now we can be president. We have a president who looks like us. What does that mean? That means that anything that you put your mind to is possible, but you've got to dream big. I'm the only African American to make $1 million by the age of 14 years old who wasn't in entertainment or had a family connection. I had to dream big. I had everyone telling me what I couldn't do, what wasn't possible. I wouldn't be successful. So the thing that we have to focus on is understanding our dreams. But don't just be a dreamer. Martin Luther King said, don't be just a dreamer, be a visionary, because a dreamer keeps their eyes closed and a visionary keeps their eyes wide open.
That was Dr. Farrah Gray. Check out his book, Realionaire, 9 Steps to Becoming Rich from the Inside Out. I'm looking at the contents right now, the table of contents. Step 1, understand the power of a name. Step 2, never fear rejection. 3, build an all-star mentoring team. 4, seize every opportunity. 5, go with the flow, but know where you want to go. I love that. 6, be emotionally prepared to handle failure. 7, dedicate your time to what you know. 8, love your customer. 9, never underestimate the power of a network. So check that out. I can't wait to dive into that. Hey, real quick, forgot to mention this in the intro. If you want to find some really good books for cheap, I'm talking $2, $3, go to the Goodwill. The Goodwill has some books. I go to the Goodwill all the time. We have a lot of them here in Arizona. I probably go to about 5 different Goodwills every week, and I'll walk out the store with 5 amazing books in really good condition for $10. It's wild. Like books that would probably cost me in total about $70 at a Barnes & Noble, I get for $10 at Goodwill. And so, check that out. Also, if you need any book recommendations, go to my Instagram account. I have 3 highlights at the top of my profile, books 2025, 2024, 2023. These are the books that I've read over the years, and I usually give some type of rating and a few words on them as well, and a link to Amazon. And so check that out. If you ever need a specific book recommendations, feel free to hit me up on Instagram at Sean Croxton. Oh, one book that I see all the time at the Goodwill, it blows my mind that people get rid of this book, is Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. It's a 600-page beast, which is probably why people don't read it, but it is the best personal finance book you will ever read. And so when you go to Goodwill, look for that book again, Tony Robbins' book, Money Master the Game. Also, the abbreviated version of it is called Unshakable. So it's like 175 pages instead of 600. Not as much information, but it still will give you a solid foundation when it comes to financial literacy. And so blows my mind. People just get rid of that book. It's such a valuable book and will make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars over your lifetime. So Money Master the Game. I'll see you tomorrow. We got Bishop T.D. Jakes on the show. I'm out. Peace.